This time on Rad Rat Video, we're talking about really weird stories in skateboarding games. Do we need them? Is there a better way? Let's figure it out. Welcome back to Rad Rat Video, a channel where we talk about skateboarding and I answer your questions here on this channel. I also do all kinds of other stuff. I play lots of skateboarding video games. I review terrible ones. I reviewed all the good ones already. And I play some of the good ones in weird ways. And I try to do other skateboarding stuff when I have time. But for today, let's get into some questions. First one is from Albert. He says, my kid has really taken an interest in tech decks. We live in a rural area and don't have any skate terrain, so this will have to do for now. Did you ever play with these when you were a kid/adult? Yeah, these were super popular in school when I was in, was it in high school? Yeah, it was in high school. We all had these, and they got banned in all of our classes because all of us would be pulling out these tech decks and doing like kickflips manuals onto our books and all this type of stuff. At lunchtime, we'd all get them out and we'd be like, wouldn't be playing games of skate, really, because no one in my school, I don't mean to brag, no one could actually flick tricks. They would all do pressure flips of different kinds. I don't know if you know what that means, but a lot of you will. And anyway, yeah, they were really popular and a lot of fun, and they do kind of scratch the same itch as skateboarding. It's not as intense, but like coming up with the idea for a trick, figuring out how to do it, figuring out like all the techniques and where it's not your weight, but like where you have to put the power of the move and all that, and then finally landing it. That is the best part about skateboarding for most people, is figuring out how to do that trick and finally doing it. You get that feeling with a tech deck. Not as much, but you do, and it's cool and it's fun. And I have one. I had like a pro fingerboard. It was like a low end one. You can buy fingerboards that cost more than a skateboard. Like you can spend hundreds of dollars to get a fingerboard with the trucks that actually turn. Like tech deck trucks don't really turn. That actually turn, and they have like real skateboard wheels with bearings in them, and all this type of stuff that you can get. You don't have to start there though. So I will play with my fingerboard while I'm at work. Like I'm waiting for an email, I'll do an impossible or a switch tray flip or something like that. And waiting for this thing to load, I'll do a little crooked grind. It's a fun thing to do. Tech decks they're a little better now than they used to be. They used to be like really, really tiny. They've made them bigger now, which is easier because you used to like do this and the board would flip 400 times. Now they're big enough so that they're a little bit slower and they can act more like a real skateboard. But yeah, if you just go to the store and get a tech deck, you'll be okay. The wheels are going to be really bad because they are just plastic. There's no bearings or anything, so like they can seize up a lot, and you have to really push them around. And the trucks, they don't turn, but worse than that, the bushings will squish, and the trucks will kind of be like this, and it'll kind of tip back and forth. So if you ever wanted to upgrade, it's very easy to find fingerboard stuff now. But yeah, that's a perfectly fine place to start with skateboarding if you're a really big fan of skateboarding. Hopefully you can figure out some kind of way to skate at home. If you can find a bike path or something, then that would be cool. If your kid's really, really into it, you can consider building a ramp. But you're talking hundreds of dollars there. I built a mini ramp. I think it was like $700 that we spent, me and my dad. But we had to build like an area for it. So we built a wooden frame and filled it with gravel. So it had a flat place to stay on, so we could level all that out and stuff. So you can spend less and you can build something. Maybe you got a garage, you can put a little thing in there. I don't know, but yeah. That's my tech deck story. The next one is from Blistersicle62. What do you think about AMs who haven't gotten pro models? And why do companies do this even though the AM is better than most pros? I get this question like every single day. Sometimes it's about a certain skater, sometimes it's just about AMs in general. And the answer is always that being pro is about marketability. It's about dollars. It's about how many people will buy that board. That's what it is. How good someone is has nothing to do with it. obviously helps. You have to be pretty good in order to have a following of people that will buy your board. But a lot of times, like, teams will be built based on how they are around the other team members. You know, does everyone flow together and you know, like that type of stuff? Or you want to build a well-rounded team. You want the tech guy and you want whatever. Like, all of that stuff is more important than are they really, really good? You know, so like, yeah, I get this question a lot, and it's, if you started your own brand and you just turned the best skaters pro, you might have a really good team, but you might have a really bad business. So that's the thing. Like, you can't just, it's not as simple as that. Okay, next question is from Marcus Elliott. You should try to write a rap song, not fix like you did in Ask Rad Rat. Write like a 2-minute rap song, because when you fix it, it was steezy AF. Then post it on the channel and keep up the hella good content. Much love. I'm not gonna do that. I saw this one. It was this. It's just like a YouTube rapper guy. I don't remember who it was, but his song was really, really good. I was really impressed by it. And all the comments are just making fun of him. It's like, no matter how good you are, and I'm not, but no matter how good you are, you're still gonna get clowned no matter what. So like, if I put all my heart and soul into making an amazing rap song about skateboarding, it's gonna be a joke no matter what. So me and my friend Tony, we did make one. This was years ago. This was like 12 years ago or something like that, or more maybe. And we did it for fun. We made 2 songs. One was about like being in a mental hospital or something like that, and then the other one was about skateboarding. And his best line was, "I keep my tricks tight, but my trucks is loose." I won't tell you what it rhymed with and to later, because that wasn't as good. But I really liked that line. What was part of what I said? In my part, I said, "My tricks are unmatched. I flip and switch stance. I throw a kick back. No tic-tacs. Better stand back. Wear a hazmat. I'm blowing up like a nuclear attack." And I thought that part was pretty good. The rest of it, no. But yeah, like it's fun, but I'm not gonna publish anything that anyone could ever see. And like I said, I made 2 songs 12 years ago or so. You're not gonna hear them. Actually, once I made like an intro song. There was King of the Cafe. So, you know, the King of the Road Thrasher thing. I went to there was a skateboard forum called Skaters Cafe, and they did King of the Cafe. And so one of the things was like, make a song or play an instrument. And I asked the whoever was in charge whether a voice could be an instrument, and they said, okay, yeah, because no one in our group played any instruments. So I wrote a rap song based on our name, our team name. And yeah, like whatever. I'll write little things for my friends, but I'm not gonna record anything. Okay, next question is from Caleb T. Is a 5.0 nose hook impossible back to 5.0 an NBD? I've asked a lot of pros and freestyle skaters and none of them know. A few said probably not, but still want to know your thoughts. Wait, most people thought that it wasn't an NBD, because I would bet pretty much anything that no one's done that before. So doing a nose hook impossible is pretty tough. You can do, like if you do a half cab impossible, now you can just do an ollie half cab impossible. But back in the day, you would roll backwards, you pop the tail, while you slam the tail down, then you hook your foot under it, and then you do the impossible as you come around. That was really the only way to do a rolling nose hook impossible. To like drag the tail or do a 5.0 would be even harder. Do a 5.0 and then reach forward, keep your balance, and then jump up and pull the board around would be really, really hard. Doing a 5.0 nose hook impossible out would be really impressive. Landing it back to a 5.0 would be much harder, obviously, just for balance and positioning and landing perfect. But landing a nose hook impossible or any kind of impossible back on the tail is really hard. As the board wraps, it starts on the tail, it wraps around, and your foot lands toward the middle. So if you do an impossible on flat, you have to scoop it around and then kind of let go and then slide your foot back to the bolts. you don't naturally land, further back. So doing a nose look impossible back onto the tail is hard. Doing it out of a 5-0 and back into a 5-0 is ridiculously hard. So I think it's safe to say that one has not been done yet. But I would love to be proven wrong. If someone has footage of that, show me. Last question is from George, who says, why do skateboarding video games have to have such weird stories? I just want one where I have to climb the ranks to become a pro, then establish myself as the best pro out there. Skate 1 was probably the closest, but you had all the death race stuff as well. Very limited number of contests, and was able to do photos for Thrasher straight away. I don't know if licensing would be an issue, but it'd be cool to have to do DIY footage, photos, along with local contests and build a buzz locally and online via social media. Get in some low-level magazines and work your way up to Trans World, Skateboard Mag, Thrasher, etc. Get invited to the X Games, do tour, and film parts for team videos. I don't want to have to save Shaun White from an evil corporation, reconnect with pros after being in jail, Skate 2, or get the cover of Thrasher with no sense of achievement. Am I asking for too much? Is licensing an issue, or am I in a minority? I don't think the problem with your idea is licensing, because you could just make up a fake version, something that is obviously Thrasher, but you just call it something else. Like, you could always do stuff like that. I think the problem is that games have to appeal to gamers and not just skaters. So like the Skate series, most people who played the game don't skate. So if the story didn't make sense to them, if it was really specific to like how the actual way that you turn pro works, and you have real team managers that they scanned into the game and all that stuff, that's not going to mean anything to non-skaters. And so you have to have something that is sensational enough, like in Skate 3 where you have to like jump into that's more of the gameplay, but you have to get to be the world's biggest skateboarder, and you prove it by coming back after you tried to backflip into the dam and you did a 540 and you reverted and whatever. Like, it has to be a little bit crazy. There's a show I watched before where they were filming. It was a scripted show. It was about them making a show like The Bachelor, and it was very realistic in every way, except that the show would go on the night that it was filmed. Like, that was the big difference, and they know that's not how it works. They film everything for those types of shows, and then they take months to edit it all together, and then it comes out later. But on that show, they made it like that because it was easier to tell a story. It was easier for like drama to occur because people found out that this came, whatever. They had to make concessions to reality because they wanted to tell a story. And in a skateboarding game, for your average person to be like, I need to build up an Instagram buzz for a while, and then I can learn, and then I'll move on and be in Thrasher, that probably doesn't matter to most people. So there was an interesting idea that I had heard before. It was a game that was being made. This was years ago. I'm sure it has been canceled long ago because they stopped talking to me. They didn't make me sign anything, but I don't want to give away their whole thing in case they want to bring it back. But the general idea was that you'd be living through big moments in skateboard history. So, like in this scene of the game, in this chapter of the game, it's 1994. You have to jump over a fence and you're going to do, whatever, like some big thing that happened in 1994. I picked a bad date for that because I can't think of anything that happened in 1994. But whatever, like you would play through that moment and then you would have something else happen and something else happen. And like that could be a really authentic and cool thing, but our gamers who just finished a game about killing zombies, are they going to want to play this game, and are they going to get into that story? Is it going to be relatable? Sorry if you can hear my dog running around. He's going crazy today. But yeah, so like, how do you appeal to everybody? So the idea in the Shaun White game where Shaun White is being trapped and you have to do all this weird stuff, I could have done without it too, but at least the graphics were really cool, because you are bringing, if you haven't seen that game, watch my review right here. You are in like a black and white world where everything is propaganda, and like as you do skateboard tricks, they're so cool that it brings color back to the world and like wakes everybody up to art and stuff like that. It gets ridiculous, and it's all ads for 5Gum, I think. And so like, yeah, it's a little ridiculous. It's a little embarrassing to like, you can't take it seriously and stuff like that, but you know, it's something. It's something to tie it together for people. It's something to build up to. It's something for there to be a big ending at, you know, it's something that has to be in a video game. So yeah, it may be possible to do something like you're talking about. I just don't think it would be very successful outside of skateboarding circles. So that's it for this time. If you have a question you'd like to see me answer, go to radratvideo.com and submit it there, or go to Patreon and you can submit it in various ways on there. And that one I will definitely answer, either DM you back or I will do it on camera depending on what the question is. But yeah, that's it for now. Make sure you subscribe and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.